Sunita Gandhi. Can we all welcome her with a big round of applause, please?
A very good morning to all of you and Jai Jagat. Wonderful. So I'm also very, very delighted that you could join for this 2-day training. We hardly get time in our busy schedules. All of us are teaching, teaching, teaching. There's no time to actually take stock, to have time to really learn and I suppose unlearn and relearn. So I want to welcome our guests here who have come from different places as well. With your teachers, it's wonderful that you're here. Uh, you're going to be learning as much as many of the CMS teachers who have so far not been a part of ALfA. So it's a learning for everyone, and those who are teaching are also learning because they're constantly improving and improving this. So I'd like to say a very, very big thank you to the CMS principals, to the superior principal especially, Tabasu, who spoke a few minutes. And, you know, everything begins with openness to change. If you feel what we're doing is perfect, will we ever allow any change? And I'd like to say that, in fact, all these years, when I was trying to do crazy things in education, like try out very many different things, and I think some of you know of the work we did in 2007, the Maxim books and the Per books and such things. So since 2004, in fact, when I was coming and going to India at that time, we had begun some kind of experimental approach to education. And in the West also, in Iceland and in the UK, I was doing experimental work with the governments of both countries. So what I felt along the way is that I was really making baby steps. All these years, 22 years of research, 22 years of endeavor in trying to do something dramatically different, I was only making very small, minor steps forward. But when basically COVID happened, I had time to think. And we tried something really different, totally different that you can imagine. Instead of being teacher led can be teacher led, and as in the traditional sense, teacher on the board, teaching, children listening and doing. And good teacher will mean that a lot more children are involved and she's able to pay attention to every single child. Now, that's normally a teacher who involves children. Children, are doing a lot of activities on their own. They're discovering things, are still highly teacher led because teachers calling the shots. Okay, I want to divide it in this group or that group or in this activity or that activity. Teachers constantly pushing the children to do things. Children are more or less passive recipients. 10%, 20% children are doing something hands-on, active engagement. Most of the time, the teachers are running the show right now. I'm running the show and you're just listening. I have no idea how many of you have switched off and how many will switch off by the end of today. Because if you're just talking, it's hard to hear. It's not just for us as adults, but for children also. How can they just hear and learn all day long? Secondly, learning is not by hearing. As we all know, the highest sense in human beings is what? 5 senses, which is the highest sense. Any guess? Any takers? Eyes. Our eyes. What we see, we rarely forget. I think I know this person I've met before. Right? I may not remember his name, but I know I've met this person before. It leaves an impression on our minds. And what do we use in teaching most of the time? Verbal. Suno. Right? And the least effective way to learn. And yet, this is what we do in our classes. So, you can become a very good child-centric teacher. There's so many courses in the West also, how to engage your children. We brought Stella Fernandez from Singapore, as you might recall, some of you. and she's awardee teacher of Singapore. She got the President's Award, and she taught us creative and thinking classrooms. So there the children were divided into groups of 4 to 6 children at a table. We had this table concepts and the children were working with that, so we thought that will be working well. We tried I brought Paul Markham to talk about project-based learning, which is also in the NEP 2020. I brought John Bergman, who is the author, founder, along with his peer. Two of them launched the whole idea of flip learning. Right, so he has come to our Ed Leadership Conference. We brought PISA head Andreas Schleicher, and he gave his perspectives based on research, worldwide research. So we've been on the listening, and in fact, one of the reasons I like the Ed Leadership Conference is because I get a chance to hear some very amazing people from all over the world, because we invite them. We've had some 50 plus country presenters across over the last few years for my own learning. Because sitting in Lucknow, where will we learn, right? How do we learn? Either we go outside and meet people all over the country, which of course many of them are doing amazing work everywhere, and also outside in the world. But these thinkers, these people who have done research, Alfie Kohn, I mean, he's another very big name. He has been at our Ed Leadership. He wrote books that I really swear by, books like Punish Pyro book, The Case Against Competition is his book. He is an amazing thinker. He's done so much research. He's been into classrooms. He's talking to people. Then we know, of course, the Mindset book by Carol S. Dweck. So that book also is very, very powerful. See, all these are people who are influencing our thinking. Howard Gardner. One of the years we brought Howard Gardner here from Harvard. Now he's retired, but he's the founder of which movement? Anybody knows? Who knows Howard Gardner? Raise your hands if you know Howard Gardner. Visible learning, also we brought that gentleman from Visible Learning, that is from Australia, right? That's John Hattie. And John Hattie's his top guy came to India for our Ed Leadership. So that also. But Howard Gardner is the founder of Kya बात है मल्टीपल इंटेलिजेंस सो द थिंग इज द क्लासरूम बैठे हुए हैं कहाँ सोचने का टाइम है बच्चों को पढ़ाना है दिन भर उसी में बिजी घर जाके घर के काम संभालने हैं तो नो टाइम टू थिंक नो टाइम टू हियर नो टाइम एंड व्हेन वी डू गेट द अपॉर्चुनिटी समटाइम्स वी लूज इट because we're too busy in our minds for something else. So now today and tomorrow I'm hoping that you will be constantly thinking and making notes. Please, we've got a register for you. You've all received a packet which has pencils, pens, register, and all sorts of things that you need to make this training successful today and tomorrow. Please make plenty. That we need to change in our mindset. So how did it take 22 years to come to ALfA, right? So one would think smart people would have come up with it a lot earlier, but no. Sitting here with you, and you are the pioneers, right? Why? Because you're the first school that have adopted ALfA. ALfA is not, by the way, for schools that are here from NIS, from CIS, I want to say ALfA is not Global Me. Global Me is passe now, okay? Because my thinking and theory has dramatically with ALfA. So while the old pedagogy is teacher-led, child-centric, you all are child-centric, this pedagogy is what? What is ALfA pedagogy? ALfA stands for Accelerating Learning for All. So what is the difference in terms of this pedagogy versus, say, teacher-led child-centric or child-centric? So there's teacher-led teacher-centric, there's teacher-led child-centric, and there's now what? Child-led. And this is the key word, child-led. Because when learning is child-led, we discovered, after all these years of trying this and trying that, we discovered with the children, working with them, that they learn best when they are learning by themselves. Now, how do child-centric education into a child-led education. Now, sometimes what happens is we have the ALfA books in front of us, and you will be getting them. You have the ALfA book in front of you, and you're still highly teacher-led. Will it have much benefit? No, book has changed, but your interaction with the children hasn't changed. So you are the hinge pin. You are the most important part of that transition from child-centric to child-led. You have to allow those little children, even the Montessori children, one or two campuses, one or two places, we felt that there was the teacher was so attached to these little babies that, like an indulging parent who वो जो दूध लेके भागता है बच्चे के पीछे, पी लो, right? इसी तरह हमारे टीचर्स भी कभी कभी भागते हैं बच्चों के ऊपर, अरे कर लो, ये कर लो, ऐसे कर लो, वैसे कर लो, so attached that we don't let go. But it is in letting go that the children will learn much more, much more. That's what our research has shown. When we attach, when we are so indulgent, when we are so, wanting them to learn today and now, that's when we lose it. They will learn in their own time. What's very fascinating for me as a researcher, education researcher, is that when I was presenting this to City International School teachers, where we started the pilot of this during the COVID period with online training, the teacher said, ma'am, it's not possible. It won't work, right? So it's very hard because I remember many years ago when I asked Parvati Sharma, one of our teachers, why don't we have mixed age classes? Let's try mixed age classes. And she said, no, it won't work. So I said, okay, the whole of the school is agreeing to it, we'll do it, but you will not do it. Okay, we'll just see what the difference is. And I think we need to allow for the difference, because how do you learn if you don't allow for difference? So that's why we did a pilot approach in City Montessori School. Some campuses, one campus in particular, Aliganj 1, took it up carte blanche, and that's thanks to Shivangi. But Shivani, all of the other campuses, we did partial implementation, because I wanted to see and I wanted them to witness if there's a difference. Because as Sushmita said, seeing is believing. When you see it, then you believe it. And in fact, what we find also is that transition for the teachers happens very quickly, very quickly. They see in 1 week their children are learning better in 1 week. So the question was, can you, do all these activities with the children and still complete the syllabus? Right? Isn't that a concern? Will we complete the syllabus? Syllabus is what? They have to know numbers till 10 in Montessori. They have to know numbers till 20, and no numbers till 100, but no numbers till 20 very well with some of the operations as well. Then it goes on and on and on. The government of India is saying that by grade 2, they should know 999s. That's 1,000. While in the ICSE board, they're saying you should know till 99 very well, right? So there's a difference of opinion as well, how much you should know. 999 is a piece of cake. Children of LKG will do 1,000. In Montessori, already, if you follow the Montessori pedagogy, children are doing large numbers at a very young age, right? So how is that possible? Then syllabus. What we discovered, that when you do ALfA, that you're covering the syllabus very quickly, faster than in the old system. How is that possible? I go and stand there and give a lecture on the board, right? And I feel everybody's understood. Everybody's understood. So then I give them homework, then I correct the homework, then I give them a test. And in the test, you get this whole sort of like normal distribution curve. Some children will do really well, some will do really badly, bulk of them will be in the middle. And we are satisfied we've reached the normal distribution curve. We assume that these kids didn't manage it. I taught everyone, but these kids did not do it very well. That's our assumption. And really, this is all very wrong. I remember many years ago when we did per books, and the children were doing much better. At that time, some of the teachers had this problem. The parents had the problem, in fact, that all the children are doing so well. मेरा बच्चा फर्स्ट आता था, अब तो सब बच्चे फर्स्ट आ रहे हैं. बहुत प्रॉब्लम हो गई उनको. किया था किसी ने per books? Anybody did per books that time? Raise your hands if you did. I can't see very well. Yes, of course. Okay, good. All right. So we have some principals also who have done this in the past. So, of course, all the campuses were implementing it at the time. So they all knew about it. But really remarkable was that children were just filling volumes of work, including Ritika. Sushmita ma'am's daughter. And I talked to her from Iceland. And she said she's done 14 books tonight. My goodness, 14 books, 14 patli patli kitabein, 16 page ki. Like, that's a volume of work. Huge. How will the teacher correct all that work? Right? In most campuses, it was at least twice the written work, sometimes 3 times the written work. So how will the teacher correct all that? How will she finish the syllabus? You will answer that question when you implement ALfA. Your belief, the 2 things that I said earlier, I didn't mention what they were. Number 1 is belief of yours in the child. Children are far, far more capable than we give them the credit for. We dummify them. We give them things at very much lower level than they're capable of. We think we have to spend so much time on such a thing like a week on a small itsy bitsy concept, and we're wasting their time. They're wasting away. They're just listening to you. They're not learning, and you're having to teach it again and again and again and repeat that in the spiral learning context, and still you don't get such a good result. And here you're getting amazing results in 1/3 the time. In fact, if you look at the pedagogical, from the pedagogical point of view, normally we teach, how do we teach reading in English? How do we teach English? Do we teach alphabet first? Yes or no? How many of you don't teach alphabet first? Two, 3 teachers don't teach alphabet first. I'd like to know. Acha, nahi, not the alpha teachers, please. If you're alpha teacher, put your hand down. Non-alpha teachers, you don't teach the alphabet first. You teach alphabet first, right? Then you teach what? In phonics system, you teach them letter sound association, right? Isn't it? Letter sound association. So how long does it take between the 2 learnings? 1 year for letters. Yeah, agreed. We're teaching ABCD for Montessori, and 1 year to teach them letter sound association. B says ba, C says ka, in the shorter form, right? So the point is that we are going to avoid both of those and therefore save how many years? 2 years. Can you believe that your 3-year-old can read 3-letter words? Can anyone believe that? That your 3-year-old can read 3-letter words? Yeah, those who have done it, believe it. There you go, ma'am believes it. In her office, some child-year-old, and he was able to read things on her table. He read the entire book in the annual function, right? Right. So you might say, oh, 1 bacha, 2 bachas. No, it's not like that. It's actually all the children, practically all the children, I'd say, because there are some who come with, sometimes some kind of special need. Every single child will learn much, much more in far shorter time. So what we are doing this in the government schools. We started in 2022 ALfA in CMS in 2 campuses, as was told earlier. 2022 in November we started. And November is no time to start anything. We started in November because we wanted to do a 45-day pilot. And we managed that and we got some results, and Samvita ma'am will take care of this. Today, the person who is going to run the English training is ma'am Samvita and her team. She's the principal of Aliganj 2, Campus 2, as you know, and she's one of the pioneers who took it up in 2022 when nobody would have even thought of it, and in the middle of not in the middle of a year, towards the end of a year. And Ma'am Batra in particular, I'd like to say that she was daring enough to suggest, let's try this out in CMS. Because as you know, in our context, we don't really bulldoze anybody. It has to come from the principals. So she said, let's try it out in my campus, and then Samvita ji also agreed, and so that's how it all began. So 2022, we also started in the government schools of India. In fact, in August, we started in Shamli, which is a low-performing district of India. It's in Uttar Pradesh, near Muzaffarnagar, I think. And in 40 days, we did a post-test. Can you imagine 39 days in Aliganj Campus 2, 44 days in Gomti Nagar Campus 2, and 40 days in Shamli, Uttar Pradesh. Shamli thing happened first. By October, we had data, and it showed bombastic improvement of these children. It got written up by no less than Harvard Graduate School of Education, AGSC USA. So I invited them as researchers to come and see, document the whole thing. And it's come out in a book last year, 2023, a book in 2023. It's on Amazon by these students of master's level at Harvard Graduate School of Education, along with their professor, Fernando Reimers. It's a 540-page book in which chapter 8 is about ALfA and Shamli. It's international endorsement of ALfA. 40 days, you don't expect any impact in education. 40 days is impossible. 3 years it takes to show education, minimum 3 years. Here also we have data, and I'm not going to share it, but ma'am will share. So I'd like to say that we need to be very, number one, circumspect about what we know. What we know, let's keep assuming that it is a journey. Education is a journey, learning is a journey, and we don't stop learning. And there are new ways to conduct our life and our business. What we do with children, we need to do it in a vastly different way than we have been doing. So for that, belief in the children's potential is number one. And number two is belief in the pedagogy that you're using. So all along the way, I've had belief in the pedagogy we have come up with. And every time I dismiss it and come up with a new one, right? In fact, one of my staff members says, the moment somebody has found out what is your pedagogy, you change it. So, but it's not like that. It's like, okay, my father, whom I remember today, of course, as much as all of you, he used to believe in continuous improvement, राइट कंटिन्यूस इम्प्रूवमेंट नहीं वो इधर से गए पापा बोलते हैं और बुके रखा है जापान में उन्होंने देखा बुके रखा है तो इधर से गए तो देखा इसको फूल को थोड़ा और शिफ्ट कर देते हैं तो और अच्छा लगेगा उधर से आए तो लगा ऐसे करना है और भी अच्छा लगेगा और कॉन्स्टेंटली इम्प्रूविंग is really necessary. The mobiles that you have in your hands, do you see every year a new version of them in the market? Yeah. So why is it not the smart people of Nokia and Samsung made best one many years? Why do they keep improving? Because we learn from the system, because we learn from clients, from people who are using it. We learn from it and we feed that back into it and keep fine-tuning, keep fine-tuning. This is called incremental change. So there are two types of change. One is incremental change and one is paradigm shift. Incremental changes जो हमें पता है उसको बार बार फाइन ट्यून करते रहते हैं उसको improve करते रहते हैं. This is continuous improvement. And my father was an ardent believer of that. Don't stop because you know something. If you find a new way to think about it, change it immediately. Don't even procrastinate. Patapat badaliye use. Yeah, that was his view. And the second thing is paradigm shift. Paradigm shift है कि जैसे आज की डेट में किनके घरों में लैंडलाइन फोन है? How many of you still have landline phone? Handful of you, right? Hardly anybody. All of you have smartphones. Now, can you convert an old landline phone, even if you keep continuously improving a landline phone, can you convert it to a smartphone? Yeah. So there was a lot of improvement to the telephone since it was discovered. From that time till it was made redundant, there were a lot of improvements in the landline phone. Sleeker, smarter, better looking, lighter, cheaper, the string being better, the communication being better. So many improvements were done to the landline phone. This is your traditional education. We do so many improvements to it. That's what I was doing for 22 years till I hit ALfA. So many improvements, but the base was the same, teacher-led, child-centric. Right? Now we're saying we're moving into a new era called a paradigm shift, which is the smartphone technology of ALfA. And even though it is bulky, it is like the old, let's say, Samsung bulky, they used to be called mobile phones, right? Before they were called smartphones. So it was a big, bulky thing at that time, but it got sleeker, better, improved. So there again, there was continuous improvement. But the difference between landline and smartphone was a paradigm shift. Even though this was a bulky, uninteresting looking technology at the beginning, it was vastly different because of its design principles. It was vastly different to the landline phone equivalent, the old phone. So smartphone, even though it is beginning of that smartphone, like 2022, we've already done so many improvements. And you are the reason and the rhyme You are the people who are making that change possible, that fine tuning possible. Just like the mobile phone or the smartphone is made better by the users. Are you with me on this? You are in the lead. You are the change. Because if you decide I don't want this, it won't happen. If you decide nobody's watching my classroom, I'll do what I wanted to do. Nothing will change, right? It'll only change when you decide this pedagogy is worth a try, and wholehearted try, not partial try, wholehearted try. You never know anything is good enough till you give it a full try. So if you mix orange juice with ruafza, what do you get? What drink will you call it? रूअफ़ज़ा और ऑरेंज जूस को मिला दिया, क्या बनेगा? Okay, we don't want that kind of a cocktail. What we want is purely nutritious orange juice, let's say. So this is what ALfA is. You have to do it wholeheartedly. You have to do it 100% till you can say it doesn't work, right? Any of you who feel, those who have implemented it last year, I'm sure if I say ask for hands, you'll all say yes, it worked, yeah. But in your hearts, tell yourself, did it work for you? Did it do better, a better job for your children? Because ultimately, we are here about the children. School is not about anything else. It's about children and their highest development. We owe it to them. They are the reason we are doing it, and we are just support. All of us, Shushmita ma'am, Batra ma'am, all the principals here, Samvita ma'am, myself, we're all here, and mummy, my mother's coming any minute, my mummy and Geeta, all of us, we are here as in support of you, the teachers, because you are the people who are where rubber hits the road. You are the people who are actually making it happen in the classroom. You are the teachers who are going to bring that change about. And believe me, 2 of your teachers have gone from here to Maldives. May I have a show of hands or stand up, please, those 2 teachers? Uh, okay. Where are the 2 teachers? Smita from Gomti Nagar 2. Yeah, there's Smita. And Sharmila, Shangrila from Aliganj too. Yeah, there she is. Okay. So they are the ones who have brought about a revolution in Maldives. दो लोग यहाँ से गए जिन्होंने 2022 में शुरू किया था. The principals recommended their names, and they were willing to go as well. They went to Maldives and they educated the trainers there, the training of trainers they did there in Malay, and they converted a whole nation to ALfA. Right now, it is in 12 countries of the world. We've done nothing to promote it big way. But all of you will go and convert countries as pioneers. We need not just words in education, we need real change. We need to see that in the evidence, in the data, and a research. And I think you all are researchers now in ALfA. You will be collecting the data, will be analyzing the data, and will be using the data to go forward. For example, one of the data now we can collect so that we don't have within the school dynamic anymore. There's some sections are doing, some are not doing, which was really our dynamic for learning. Is it better? In what ways is it better? In what ways is it? Can we do this better or that? So now it will be ALfA versus non-ALfA campus. So we'll do across the board testing, right, Sushmita ji? Across the board testing. And we'll continue our research, because research we must. And biggest school in the world doing a biggest research in education, I think it bodes us really well. All of you, please prepare for 26th to 28th of September, when we are bringing in ministers of education from all over the world to the biggest educational experiment in the world. Okay, 26th to 8th of September at Leadership, be the 14th at Leadership. We are calling it the Global Learning Laboratory, the Global Learning Lab. And there will be a research spotlight day. We're going to be doing this at a global level. So you'll be the trainers there. Today, the trainers are Samvita ma'am's campus. Tomorrow, the trainers are Ma'am Batra ma'am's campus. I'm finishing right here. Thank you very much. And do have those 2 beliefs, and we'll rock. Thank you so much. You can clap louder.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Most respected Dr. Sunita Gandhi, we once again express our heartfelt gratitude for bringing ALfA to CMS and fostering teacher and students empowerment. Uh, Dear teachers, as we open, I'll not say teachers here because we call ALfA teachers ALfA galvanizers here. So, as we open our hearts and minds to these 2 days workshop, let us remember that each one of us is unique with our own sets of talents and abilities, waiting to be awakened and harnessed. We say the same thing for our children, same thing goes for us. In the spirit of Urbanato, the profound acknowledgement that I exist because we exist. We stand united, recognizing the collective power of our collaboration. With this guiding principle at heart, I extend once again to each one of you. Your presence enriches our gathering and reinforces our shared commitment to fostering a learning environment with ALfA teaching, where every step counts and every individual can thrive, discovering, learning, and excelling. What we are sharing today, please note I'm calling it we and not I, is an overview of the collective ALfA journey of the CMS campuses, where we will find connections, reflections relevant to our respective students, emphasizing that it's a shared journey of growth and progress. And thank you for all the shared resources on our WhatsApp ALfA page, which served as a valuable repository. Can I have the next slide, please? Can 5-year-old read newspapers in Hindi and English? Can they learn to read in weeks, not months or years? Can they learn on their own and with each other? Believing the ALfA process and challenging our assumptions with these questions, we progressed on our journey and we collectively recognized the undeniable truth. Yes, it's possible. We focused equally on the 4C traits and 4C skills while teaching and learning. Witnessed our students acquiring and imbibing these life skills. For example, being humble, careful, kind, and strong during the process. Whether it's in pre primary, where they are blending from known to unknown, helping each other to decode sounds from known pictures during the English activities, or in primary, telling time learners, framing questions for their partners during their maths activity. ALfA is about a broader and bolder education that extends learners beyond the prescribed curriculum. We've seen children grasping numbers up to 1,000 and beyond, whereas the syllabus typically covers up to 99. Modules 7 to 9 in Book 2 facilitated activities where children used everyday objects like spoons, popsicle sticks, matchsticks, tally lines, etc., to explore numbers beyond 1,000. Not to miss the endearing and creative approach to activities like count and write, the hearts picture which is there, and the collective nouns activity. Happy hearts, curious minds is the ALfA way. Similar approach is evident in both English and Hindi activities, such as you can see here in the slide, understanding the prepositions and mastering the punctuation marks. We can see Poonmera and Prashn Vachak Chin in Hindi here. Furthermore, in activities like building poems, as exemplified by if O ran, you can see that girl writing from module 60 in book 2. Children's creativity and critical thinking shines through as they continue the poem with lines like if A ran away, if D ran away, and building on it further. This activity will be further explored English training by the galvanizers for further enhanced clarity and joyful engagement. We can observe several more examples of written work here, such as number bonds, where children are utilizing their own imagination, honing skills. We can see composition inspired by a visit to the zoo, which is a module 85 level B. These were crafted using the clue words given there. And we can vouch for it that in alpha classes 1 and 2, there was notably more written work than in non alpha classes. And here, we see the focus is on the rich repository for climate consciousness, the magical world of Tara. It encompasses raising awareness about endangered animals such as the blue whale, the Congo gorilla, and orangutans, etc., affected by the climate change, aligning with the Sustainable Development Goals 13, 14, and 15. Through stories, activities, and sustainable practices, emphasizing the principles of reduce, reuse, and recycle, it aims to empower children to become custodians of the climate. In this slide, we can see the children observing patterns in nature and reflecting on their experiences outdoor. Children not only enhance their mathematical and language skills, but also develop a deeper appreciation for the environment and the importance of sustainable practices. Here we can see an overview. As Dr. Gandhi mentioned earlier, she introduced this pedagogy in the session 22-23. The two campuses of CMS, Gomti Nagar Extension and Aliganj 2, piloted it. About half the campuses took it up in 23 and 24. So we had more partners. And for the session 24-25, LDA, a new member has joined us. We warmful welcome to our respected Principal Dr. Vinita Kamran and the complete team of Kanpur Road LDA. And from this year, we are having a separate book list, which has already been sent to all the campuses. And in this separate book list, there is only difference of maths and English books. Rest all are regular books as per your regular subjects. And yes, the approach is research based. And in this learning system, we all learn. Now, we can see certain outcomes of the alpha process here. More joyful classes, as children feel secure in one-to-one setting, supporting each other's learning without fear of reprimand. Mistakes are viewed as part of their learning process with encouragement to try again. This fosters happiness and competence, well being, greater learning in less time, as paired learning enhances dynamism, leading to greater intrinsic motivation and a desire to tackle more challenging tasks, resulting in more efficient learning. More written work overall, though not at the beginning. This is driven by children's new motivation, curiosity, wanting to do more, working at home, taking initiative, and putting in a lot of hard work. Teachers did not need to make planners, as the modules have prompts and parameters for the teachers and the learners. They focused instead on being the catalyst of change, the galvanizer, inspiring the learners. But they maintained a reflection logbook for keeping their own thoughts, records of all sorts, various triggers and sparks. Correction work was mostly completed in the class. It was possible with self and peer checking. This also encouraged to instill the value of honesty in the learners. It resulted in fewer corrections, improved student performance, and positive teacher morale. Through ALfA, we foster holistic education by nurturing essential traits such as integrity and empathy, instilling climate consciousness, connectedness, and civic responsibility, while also cultivating the vital skills like collaboration, communication, creativity, and critical thinking. I'm sure all will unanimously agree with me that this is completely in sync with our Vision 2025. Now, here you see is results from Campus Aliganj 2. And as you see, it is, the result is from 39 days of implementation, and it is a comparison between the control and the treatment group. Here, the treatment group is the alpha class, and the control group is the non alpha class. So, if you see in grade 1, English, maths, and Hindi, they show significant positive impacts of the treatment group. Similarly, grade 2 maths and Hindi also indicate positive impacts. However, grade 2 English demonstrates a positive impact, although less than expected, underscoring the treatment group's improvement, but surpassing that of the control group, as evidenced by the difference, which is 20.11 and 22.73 in English and maths, respectively. Here, the analysis suggested that early intervention is crucial for implementing alpha effectively. Consequently, in the new session, the approach will commence from Montessori and extend across class 2. Now, phonics and alpha are not the same thing as Dr. Gandhi said earlier. In phonics, we move from unknown to unknown. The child is supposed to know the letter, first learn the letter, then the sound, and associate it with the picture. Whereas in alpha, we go from known to unknown. The child derives the first sound, connects it with the picture, and frames a new word. If you see here, for example, the picture is there, the child knows this is a car. So the first sound of car, which is k, apple, a, tub, t. And then they need to join both the all the three sounds and they get a new word. Now, this is done through a role play in the classes. Teacher gives a demonstration with the child first, and then it's taken up by the children in pairs. And if you see here, the role play goes like this. The first question comes, what is this? The answer is, this is a car. What is its first sound? The first sound is k. And then similarly, they go for a and t. And then the last question will be, what word do you get by adding the sound? So the child gets a new word. And then the turns are reversed. Every child gets a chance, and no child is left behind, making the concept clear to each one of them. Now, here we are having a little book look. How the books for the ALfA classes would look like. And as we see here, we have three phases, phase one, phase two, and phase three. There is one book for each phase. Phase one will be focusing on learning to read. Phase two will focus on text to understand. And phase three will focus on the writing composition. And this goes across all the classes for nursery, for kindergarten, for grade 1, for grade 2. This was for English. And now, similarly, it will be for mathematics. And again, three phases, one book for each phase here. Kindergarten, grade 1, and grade 2. Now, which approach to take? Definitely, ALfA resonated to most of us, which is why we chose to embark on this journey together as partners. And the reasons are very much clear out here. We were happy to see the children work in pairs. They were joyful. The process was very engaging. It was 10 times faster. And we saw it delivered more on areas which were child centered. As Dr. Gandhi also mentioned earlier about the two beliefs. In this process, we ALfA galvanizers need to have belief in children's capacity to learn 10 times faster, in ALfA as the way forward for the education. Because these convictions, they serve as the foundation for unlocking the full potential of the educational experiences for the children. Okay. As child-led paired learning process, ALfA grants agency to children to learn with each other on their own. And when a child answers incorrectly, they are encouraged to say, try again. They don't say wrong. The language used emphasizes encouragement over praise or reprimand. While they are engaged in activities such as solving questions provided by their peers, working with numbers, exploring patterns, and identifying odd even numbers, they take control of the errors. In the next slide, we could see these are the activity cards. Now you will be getting activity cards along with the books. As you can see, again, they're emphasizing the norms of the ALfA pedagogy, where no letters first, children can easily decode by themselves. They learn with each other, and this will definitely accelerate learning. Here we observe self learning in action, and mostly at home, as children engage in various activities independently. Here we could see it includes decoding sounds, writing, naming and describing words, etc. They also demonstrated their creativity by making and framing new words, using screenshots of the prompts which were provided by the teachers, as we didn't have any hard copies of the books, they were all soft copies, and also taking assistance from resources like Tina and Toto. We also see them here taking initiative and framing their own homework assignments, along with newspaper and book reading happening in the classes. In the next slide, too, you would see, okay, in the next slide, too, you would see children engaged in practical activities related to capacity, such as determining how many glasses of water will fill a jar and tub, and using all the resources available at home. Exploring the 3D shapes by creating them with clay. And this was facilitated by the activity Duck Face Girl in their module. Using Tina Toto, children learn about ascending and descending order. They become their friends at home, while also applying their knowledge for the color coding for the even and the odd numbers. Next, we have the teacher triggers. So they are children make questions for each other, and they do far more work than when teachers set questions for them. And we see they learn the four skills that we talk about: creativity, critical thinking, communication, and collaboration, as per the NEP 2020. And here we see ones and tens by clap and snap. This is one of the most sought out famous activity which the children love doing in mathematics, and I'm sure most of you are also aware of it. Here it's for a snap is number 1, and when we clap, that designates 10. They can build on this and they can go further to bigger numbers. For example, let me see if you all can guess what number am I saying. Absolutely mind blowing. And can anybody tell me how we can build on it further? They can go up to bigger numbers by adding. Yes, more of our actions, we can go to any number. This is another activity in sentence making. And here, everything is very clear and crisp in the modules. Children choose one word from each column and they make a sentence. And if you look at the prompt too, it is taking them to a higher level. First, they make a sentence, then they make their own list. Third, they write a prose. So, as the children progress, the teachers take them to a more challenging height, but then ensuring everyone is at the same pace. This is another commendable activity where we could see children crafting their own dictionaries through the ALfA pedagogy and also incorporating the use of real dictionaries out here. This dual approach not only underscores their dedication to mastering the language skill, but also highlights their adaptability to utilizing diverse resources for comprehensive learning. And let me tell you, all the resources are created by the children and mostly from recycled material. Here we have the 4 steps of learning process. Here, one thing I would like to point out that we teachers have to unlearn being a teacher. As ma'am said, it's a child led pedagogy. So, no instructions, only demonstrations. So, if you see in the first step, it is a teacher child demonstration, followed by child child demonstration of the same. Third, the entire class works in pairs. And then we see here peers make questions and set homework for each other. We also have 2 very important feedback process steps. And in the first one, the teacher asks 3 to 6 questions, difficult questions, with opinions and with options, and takes instant collective feedback. This could be done through props, as you're seeing smileys here, raised hands, yes, no, writing on the stick ons. You may have your own creative ways. And in the step 2, the teacher takes a written test. But this test is taken only after taking the corrective actions so that all children excel and no one is left behind. Correction and feedback. This is also very important because here children peer correct each other's work. They underline with very soft pencil in case there are any errors, and then they correct their own mistakes. The teacher comes in, she checks, she signs, and largely it is done in the class itself. Now, here we see the 3 phases of development of the session 24-25. Transitions from one phase to the next, they are flexible. If you see, the first phase spans until August, phase 2 will continue until November, and phase 3 concludes by February. Within each phase, there are 6 divisions or tiers, namely tests, commencing initially with orals and followed by written. The curriculum is for subjects English and mathematics across grades from Montessori to grade 2, and it'll be done in 3 phases: phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. As mentioned earlier, there'll be 3 books. Each class will have 3 books. A, basic for the first phase, B, insight for the second phase, and C, genius for the third phase. Additionally, there are activity cards for the English and mathematics, as well as a kit for mathematics. Now let's talk about the assessments here. The weekly summative tests are followed by immediate corrective action, and these are a part of the weekly test. All tests are surprise tests, and parents are not informed in advance. These tests tell galvanizers how well the class has understood the modules, and if needed, go back to the learning and gap filling. By verbal feedback, all tests include HOTS questions, as much as possible generated by children themselves. And as we see here, can I have the assessment slide, please? There are 6 assessments per phase and one assessment at the end of each phase 1 end, phase 2 end, and phase 3 end. That means in the first 2 months, there will be 2 assessments each, and in the third month, there will be 3 assessments. And this goes for all the 3 phases. Paper 1 comprises of the MCQs, paper 2, worksheets, and the third would have mixed options. Happy faces, learning and joy, growing in confidence. This is the ALfA way. Here we can see children happy, wearing their noun hat activities, their pattern crown, showcasing, getting clear. You can see the happy Kodak moment for them here. Similarly, in the next one, we'll see the children. This is a phone activity which they had where they are learning the emergency numbers, fire brigade, ambulance. Maybe it looks into their safety and security, learning the numbers of their parents, calling their moms, talking to us with the self made mobiles, so happy, enjoying making their own resources. Third, here, this is the creativity of the teacher. She conducted a ramp walk where the children were showcasing the resources they had made, the crowns they had made during the modules and the various activities which are there. You could also see them wearing the paper wigs made from newspapers in one of the activities where it was about the fox wig acting like a fox, having a very short role plays, building on the resources and learning to their maximum potential. Again, paired learning with Tina Toto. They're friends forever. When nobody's there for them, Tina Toto is always there for them, and they're all happy about it. Now, this is very important. In ALfA, please listen very carefully, teachers out here. The assessments inspire and empower. They have a dual purpose. They not only gauge learning progress, but also actively contribute to further learning and improvement. They inspire new and greater action and much more effort. This approach has led to the development of a new grow rating scale and a more broader and bolder report card. The significance here lies in its ability to empower students through 3 levels of feedback. First, the instant feedback within the ALfA learning process. Second, weekly and bi weekly tests to monitor the progress. Thirdly, the benchmark assessments, the baseline, the midline, and the end line, which will be provided to you with the view to gauge the overall impact. So it's important to have a transparent and accurate data collection to obtain a measure of improvement, to identify the gaps, to enhance the study material, and also tailor the training and focus on them accordingly. And all this so that the students' progress is effectively reflected in the data collected. And once again, we extend a heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Sunita Gandhi, the visionary behind the ALfA pedagogy, for entrusting us with this opportunity. Ma'am, we are all excited to witness the positive impact we will collectively create in our ALfA journey in this session 24-25. Thank you. And now, Over to my teachers, Miss Sania and Miss Sangrila. Here I would like to share Miss Shangrila is one of the teachers who initially in 22-23 piloted this ALfA project in class 1. Recently, my kindergarten ALfA teacher resigned due to a beautiful reason. She got married and she shifted abroad. So here, Miss Shangrila is pitching in with her because we believe in paired learning and a buddy system. So can I have both Miss Shangrila and Miss Sania here? And by the time they're coming here, you can see the beautiful resources that have been created by the children. Truly, the real work, the handwork of the children, which have been showcased by the various CMS ALfA campuses. If there is a little time, I'll request the team if they could focus on each board. And it's always wonderful to see the work of the children. And I'm sure we all will agree when the children make their own resources and those very resources are made a part of the teaching and learning, the level of teaching is learning is taken to a much higher scale. The knowledge and the skills grasped are more in depth and they are retained forever. Can we have a close? Is it possible to have a closer look? Yeah. Lovely. Now we have the team of galvanizers, Ms. Sania and Ms. Shangrila, who will be showcasing how ALfA went in our campus, at the same time training you with a lot of hands-on using the various activities and a feedback session. So feel free to put forth your queries, your questions, and as we say, don't worry about making mistakes. Mistakes means learning is taking place. Shangrila?
Good morning and Jai Jagat everyone. Good morning and Jai Jagat everyone. I'm Sania Banu.
Hello everyone, I'm Shangrila.
And we are the
ALfA galvanizers.
So today I'm going to present for pre-primary classes. So today I'm going to present for pre-primary classes, nursery and kindergarten for the subject literacy.
And I am here to pair with her.
So before we begin, I would like you all into what ALfA looked like in my class. So, ALfA has really revolutionized our classes, and I would, I would like to ask all the teachers, all the galvanizers, upcoming galvanizers, to answer. What does normalization in your class look like?
Yes. Anyone? Ek- Just give 2, 3 hand mics.
Teachers, you need to, sorry, galvanizers, you need to raise your hands, please.
So, how do you usually normalize your class? How do you usually normalize your classroom at pre-primary level? Any Montessori, nursery, or kindergarten teachers present here? True rhymes, very good. Yes. What else? What else? Any unique methods that you use?
Ma'am, first, when my children are there in the class, I like to do simple conversation with them by touching their hands. How are you? What's your name? And how did you come to school? So this way, we just like to normalize them and connect with us. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Anybody else
Anyone
would like to
else?
answer? Yes,
Yeah.
there's a.
Jai Jagat ma'am. I'm from Rajaram Campus 1, Alicia. So in my classroom, all the Montessori teachers, we begin the session with Energizer. Then we take a popcorn candy game. Like what we do when we say popcorn, the students pop up, they stand, and then when we say candy, they used to sit. Thank
Great.
you.
There was a hand this side.
Okay, so I can always say it's like focus, focus, focus. Where do you see? Eyes on me.
Yes, you use signals. Very good.
Uh, for us, basically at GN1, we focus for creating a bond the very first day, right? And that will actually keep all going on along with the children. The bond matters for us.
Anybody else?
Yeah,
Yes, there's
ma'am.
a hand there. Yeah.
In our nursery class and Montessori classes, we use some simple hand movements. Then we begin the class with some energizers and little poems like two little hands, so bright and so clean. This is my left and this is my right. So we energize in our class with these simple, very little energizers and simple hand movements like touch your head, hold your ears, and clap once, clap twice. This way, we
Yes.
begin our
Wow.
class.
Ma'am, here I would like to highlight we use positive affirmation also, such as I'm the best, my teacher loves me, God loves me, and I can do the best. With this note, we start our classroom.
So all the answers were great. Now look, let's look how this normalization takes place ALfA way. So this was the activity initiated at in classes. So what happened? Children were imitating each other, their actions. Can you play this? Explaining the rules to the children is really important, but making them with their peers is also a very significant step. So, random pairings encourage children to develop their communication and interpersonal skills as they learn to collaborate and interact effectively with the new partners regularly.
So, random pairing ensures that every child has the opportunity to actively participate in the class learning activities.
So, let's normalize today ALfA way. So, are you all ready? No energy? Are you all ready? Louder. Are you all ready? Okay. So, dear galvanizers, I want you all to draw your favorite shape. Changvila ma'am, could you please tell me which is your favorite shape?
Oh, my favorite shape is
Diamond.
yeah.
And mine is?
Wow.
Heart. So take out a piece of paper.
You're
and-
wearing the earrings also.
Yes, my earrings are also of heart shape. So I want you all to draw your favorite shape on a piece of paper. Tell me when you are done, okay? Raise your hands.
Use the kit.
Yes, you can use the kit.
Galvanizers, a little request, if you could move the disposable glasses and the plates on your counters, because they are recording and clicking photographs. If they could be just put outside in the dustbin, there's a dustbin right at the back also. So please remove the used disposable glasses and the plates from your respective counters. Thank you so much.
Okay, we are here.
Wow, two shapes.
Wow, a smiley. Beautiful.
Very nice. Circle. You can give a smiley face to the circle also.
I like to draw heart shape.
Oh, so cute.
Beautiful.
Smiley.
Very also.
I like to draw smiley, ma'am.
I like to draw a star.
I can see so many unique shapes. Very nice. Oh my god.
Wow.
Excellent. You can color it also. Oh, one of a unique shape.
I'm your shape. Oh,
I can see many.
you have to
creative-
draw us one shape. Yeah. You have to draw us.
So cute, wow. Very creative.
We can see the creative skills of our galvanizers in each and every table. Wow, lovely.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
Wow.
Oh wow. A 3D shape. Beautiful.
My shapes are very happy
Very
and they are
nice.
laughing. Yes, I have made a triangle and a
All the
square.
shapes are very expressive. Very good shape.
Do I start?
Wow.
Hello.
Right. So my favorite shape is a star. I feel that everybody should have their spirit like shining bright like the star, even on the darkest days.
And you all are shining bright like a star.
Exactly.
Oh, you got a nice shape here. Sir has drawn. So can you tell us? A mic. Okay, fine. We are coming back to you.
It's the shape of our country.
This star, because I motivate my learner through this.
But Sanya ma'am, so now what we have to do with this shape?
Okay, should we dance a little?
Okay, teachers, are you ready to move around? So let's jingle and mingle. So the next thing that you have to do, you have to move from your place and you have to find the person having the same shape after the music stops. As you find the person being the same shape, you will pair with them.
And
Just
that will
pair
be
up.
your partner for today. Okay, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Okay, get grooving.
Now remember, when I say freeze, freeze. And when I say dance, dance.
Dancing, dancing
all around.
Please keep on moving.
Dancing, dancing, dancing. Dancing any way you please. But stop when I say freeze. Let's freeze game.
Okay, those who have got their
Now
partners,
remember-
they can settle down and rest. Keep on moving.
Those who found their partners, kindly settle down.
Let's play the party freeze game. Now remember, when I say freeze, freeze. Say dance, dance. Dancing all over. Dancing, dancing, dancing. Dancing any way you please. But stop when I say
Ooh. Hope everyone has got their partners. Okay, we are going to play one more time. I can see a few more standing.
Few more on the
everybody,
Standing at the back.
get ready to hop. Hopping, hopping all around. Hopping, hopping, hopping. Hopping any way you please. But stop when I say freeze.
So if you found your partner, please be seated. So we come to know whether we have to take another round. We still see few standing. Okay, can we have it one more time, Shangrila ma'am and Sania ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sure, ma'am.
And quickly find your partners. You can do a little tweaking also here.
Get ready to skip. Skipping, skipping all around. Skipping, skipping, skipping. Skipping any way you please. But stop when I say freeze.
Okay. Now quickly find your partners. And like I said, you can do a little tweaking also. Otherwise, this will carry on till the evening. Come on, teachers, take the cue quickly. And let's see how many are still standing. If you've got your partners in pairs, you have to be seated. So we get the clear picture. Now, this is a class of 400. Teachers, you need to be seated so that we come to know